What is the heaviest thing you carry with you each day? It's probably not a bag or a box. It's the weight of worries, regrets, and pain that you've piled onto your heart. Think about it. The memory of a mistake that still makes you cringe, the sting of a betrayal that still brings tears to your eyes, or the fear of an uncertain future that knots your stomach. We all carry these invisible burdens. They're not physical, but they might as well be, because they slow us down, drain our joy, and keep us stuck in one place. And yet, we hold on to them tightly, as if clinging to a burning rope out of fear of falling. Imagine that for a moment. You're gripping a thick rope that's fraying and on fire. Your palms are blistering, the pain is unbearable, but you're afraid that if you let go, you'll lose something, maybe your sense of control or a part of your identity. So you cling even harder, hoping the flame will die out on its own. But the longer you hold on, the deeper the burn sears into your skin. In life, we often do the same thing. We hold on to anger that scorches us from within. We hold on to grief, afraid that letting it go means letting go of the love we felt. We hold on to guilt, punishing ourselves over and over, as if that could rewrite the past. All the while, we're just tightening our grip on that burning rope, hurting ourselves more. Now, picture another scene. You're walking through a dense forest carrying a heavy backpack. Every few steps, you slip or stumble because the load is so overwhelming. Inside that pack are stones, each one carved with a name. Past mistakes, old grudges, losses and disappointments, and fears of tomorrow. The weight of it all presses down on your shoulders. With each step, you grow more tired, yet you refuse to put the bag down. Why? Maybe you think you have to carry these stones. Maybe you feel that they make you who you are, or that if you drop them, you'll forget what you've been through, so you carry the bag, mile after mile, struggling and straining, even as your back aches and your spirit buckles under the burden. We tell ourselves that holding on is a sign of strength, that if we just try hard enough, we can change what's already happened or control what might happen. We think that by carrying these burdens, we are being responsible or honoring our past. If we let go, isn't there a chance we'll lose part of ourselves? This is the quiet lie that keeps us in pain. The truth is that holding on often hurts us far more than it helps. It's like keeping a wound open because we're afraid to let it heal, or like refusing to set down a weight, even as our arms tremble. Real strength isn't about bearing every load. Sometimes it's about knowing when to let the load go. It reminds me of a lesson a teacher once shared. She stood before her class and held up a glass of water. The students expected a trick question about the glass being half full or half empty. Instead, she asked, "How heavy is this glass of water?" The students offered answers, guessing a few ounces. She replied, "The exact weight doesn't matter. What matters is how long I hold it. Hold it for a minute, nothing happens. Hold it for an hour, my arm starts to ache. Hold it all day, and my arm would feel like it's on fire. Notice that the weight of the glass hasn't changed, but the longer I hold it, the heavier it becomes." She continued, "Our worries and stresses are like that. Keep holding them, and over time they overwhelm you. But when you set them down for a while, you rest, and when you let them go completely, you reclaim your strength." With that, the teacher gently placed the glass down, letting its burden go. The relief on her face said it all. We too need to remember to put down what we are not meant to carry forever. Letting go gives us relief, and it makes us stronger for the journey ahead. Letting go can feel like defeat, like we're giving up or surrendering. It's no wonder we cling so tightly. The unknown is scary. We ask ourselves, what if I let go and things fall apart? What if I let go and I lose a part of myself? Sometimes we prefer to hold on to hurt or familiarity because at least it's something we recognize. Our fear paints the future in uncertainty, making us think that letting go might leave us empty-handed. But think about this. What if holding on is actually what's keeping us stuck? What if letting go is the only way to move forward? Often, when we finally release what we've been clutching, we find we haven't fallen at all. Instead, we've made room in our lives for something new. What if letting go is not about losing, but about gaining freedom? What if it's not about erasing the past, but about finally creating space for the future? Think of how a hand clenched tightly into a fist can't receive anything new, but an open hand is ready to accept and to heal. The power of letting go lies in the relief and the lightness that follows. It's the power you feel when you release that burning rope and realize you haven't fallen at all. You're still standing, but now without the searing pain. It's the power you feel when you finally set that heavy backpack on the ground, leaving those labeled stones by the roadside, and discover that you can stand up straighter and breathe more deeply. In that moment, you haven't lost anything except the weight that was crushing you. What you've gained is room in your heart for peace, for joy, and for new experiences that were waiting all along to enter your life. Consider the story of a traveler who learned the hard way about letting go. He set out to climb a high mountain to see the sunrise from the summit. At the base of the mountain, he packed a large bag full of mementos and keepsakes he'd collected throughout his life. He thought he needed them. All his old journals, trophies from his victories, and even stones from places where he'd experienced pain, each one a tangible reminder of what he had endured. He believed these items were proof of who he was, tokens of where he'd been, and that he must carry them to the top to honor his journey. In the beginning, the climb was easy. The sun was gentle, the path was soft, and he felt confident with the bag on his back. But as he ascended, the trail grew steeper and the air thinner. The weight that once seemed bearable now felt like a boulder strapped to him. His legs grew leaden and every step became a test of will. Still, he refused to let anything go. He clung to his bag even as it pulled him backwards, even as his lungs burned for more air. Other climbers passed him by, some carrying nothing at all, some with tiny backpacks holding just the essentials. They moved quickly, lightly, leaping from rock to rock. He watched them in frustration and envy, yet still he held onto his heavy load. After a while, exhaustion overcame him. Halfway up the mountain, the traveler could barely stand. He collapsed on a rocky ledge, sweat streaming down his face, heart pounding in his chest. He wanted so badly to reach the top. He could even glimpse it in the distance, the brilliant golden light of dawn starting to touch the peak. It seemed so close and yet impossibly far while he was weighed down by the bag of his past. As he sat catching his breath, he decided to take out one of the stones from his pack. Just to hold it, it was smooth and cold, etched with the memory of a painful failure from years ago. Holding that stone in his hand, he remembered the disappointment vividly, the shame that had followed him. It struck him that the failure itself had long passed, yet here he was literally carrying its weight, even now. Why? In that moment, something shifted in him. With trembling hands, he set the stone down on the ground. The earth didn't shatter. The sky didn't fall. All that happened was that his pack became a little lighter. Encouraged, he reached in and pulled out another stone, one marked with an old grudge he'd held against a friend who had betrayed him. That friendship had ended years ago, but the anger, the hurt, it was as heavy as ever in his sack. He placed that stone next to the first and felt a faint relief in his shoulders. Next, he drew out a memento that reminded him of a lost love, a relationship that had brought him joy and pain. As he set that aside, a gust of mountain air filled his lungs as if he had finally made room for it. One by one, he removed each token of pain, each relic of regret and sorrow, laying them down gently and thanking them for what they had taught him, then letting them go. When the traveler finally stood up again, his bag was nearly empty. The only things that remained were a bottle of water and a map, the things he actually needed for the journey ahead. He was lighter, physically, yes, but something more had changed. He felt lighter in his heart. The mountain hadn't become any less steep, but now it seemed possible to climb. So he did. Freed from the extra weight, he found his stride. His steps that were once labored and slow became firm and quick. With each section of the trail that he conquered, he felt his confidence returning, not because he was holding on to those objects from his past, but because he wasn't. He realized that those items, those stones and keepsakes, they had never actually kept him safe or made him stronger. Carrying them had only made him weary. His true strength came from within, from his desire to reach that summit, and that strength had only grown now that it wasn't buried under a pile of burdens. Eventually, as the first rays of the sun crept over the horizon, the traveler reached the mountain's peak. Out of breath but exhilarated, he stood where earth meets sky and watched as the world below was painted in the soft gold of morning. Tears of joy and relief welled in his eyes, not only because of the beauty of the sunrise, but because of the weight he had finally shed. In that quiet, victorious moment, he understood that he never needed to haul all that baggage up the mountain. He hadn't lost the experiences or the lessons from those items by leaving them behind. Those were inside him all along. What he lost was only the pain, the heaviness, the feeling of being held back. By letting go, he gained the freedom to rise. We are all travelers in our own lives, much like that man on the mountain. Each day we have a choice to carry every regret, every hurt, every fear with us, or to set them down and move forward unburdened. Think about what you've been carrying. Maybe it's resentment towards someone who wronged you, or shame about something in your past. Maybe it's the need to control every outcome because you're afraid of what might happen if you don't. These things are stones in your backpack. They make each step heavier, each day harder. And just like the traveler, you have the power to unload them. It might start small. Perhaps you decide to forgive someone, not for their sake, but for yours. You take that bitterness out of your heart, like a stone from your pack, and set it aside. At first, it might feel strange, even uncomfortable. You might feel empty without that anger you carried for so long. But soon you notice that you feel lighter, that you can breathe easier without that tight knot of resentment inside you. Or maybe you forgive yourself for a mistake you made. You stop replaying that moment in your head, punishing yourself again and again. You learn the lesson it offered and then you let it go. That's another stone laid down. Consider the power of releasing just one of these burdens. Like a hot air balloon dropping sandbags, you begin to rise when you let go of what's weighing you down. Your perspective changes. Problems that once towered over you now seem smaller, more manageable, because you are no longer chained to them. When you let go of the fear of failure, for example, you become free to try new things, to take risks, to grow. When you let go of the need to always be perfect, you begin to see that you are worthy of love and happiness, just as you are, flaws and all. There is a famous saying, holding on to anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. Think about that. When we hold on to anger and resentment, who are we really hurting? The person who wronged us might have moved on with their life, while we remain stuck, reliving the pain each day. It's as if we've imprisoned ourselves in a cell whose key is in our own pocket. Letting go of that anger is how we unlock the door and step out into freedom. For instance, there is an old story about two monks traveling together. They came to a river where a woman was struggling to cross. One monk picked her up and carried her across the water, then set her down safely on the other side. The monks continued on their journey. Hours later, the second monk, who had been frowning and silent, finally spoke. "How could you carry that woman? We monks are not supposed to touch women." The first monk simply smiled and replied, "Brother, I set her down by the river hours ago. Why are you still carrying her?" The second monk realized he had been clinging to anger and judgment long after the event was over. In holding on to that frustration, he was only burdening himself. Like that second monk, when we hold on to anger or resentment, we carry a weight long after we could have put it down. The same is true for sadness and grief. We might clutch our sorrow tightly because it feels like the last link to what we lost. A loved one, a happy time that passed. But what if, instead of holding on to the pain of that loss, we cherished the love or the good times in our heart and gently released the rest? By letting go of the sorrow when we're ready, we're not forgetting the person or the experience. We're simply freeing ourselves to live fully again, to honor those memories not with tears alone, but with the life we build moving forward. Change is a part of life that many of us resist. We hold on to how things were, our youth, our past successes, relationships that once were good but have since changed, because we fear the unknown that comes with change. But letting go also means embracing the fact that life is ever moving, ever flowing. Picture a river. If you're swimming in it and you cling desperately to a rock on the bank because you're afraid of where the current might take you, you'll strain and struggle as the water beats against you. You'll exhaust yourself trying to stay where you are. But if you trust the flow and let go of the rock, you can float and swim, and the river will carry you forward. Sure, you don't know exactly where it goes, but you're moving with life, not against it. In the real world, this kind of surrender might mean letting go of specific things we've been afraid to lose. It could be finally leaving a job that has been wearing you down, trusting that by closing that door, another opportunity will open that aligns more with your passion. It might mean walking away from a toxic relationship or a friendship that you've outgrown, even though it's hard, because deep down you know it's holding you back from the peace and respect you deserve. It might even mean releasing a lifelong dream that you've discovered no longer reflects what you truly want, allowing yourself the freedom to discover a new dream that does. These choices are hard, like releasing a secure branch to trust the current of the river, but they carry you toward new places, new people, and new hopes that you couldn't reach while you were holding on so tightly. Letting go is powerful, but it isn't always a one-time choice. It's a practice, a journey. You might let go of a hurt today and find it sneaking back into your mind tomorrow. That's okay. Each time we remember to release it again, the grip it has on us grows weaker. Over time, we train ourselves to find peace quicker, to recognize when we're holding a new burden and gently set it down before it becomes too heavy. It's like learning to unclench a fist that you didn't even realize was tightly closed. It takes awareness and patience with yourself. Sometimes we need help to let go. Maybe we talk to a friend, a counselor, or someone we trust. Maybe we write a letter to express what we feel and then tear it up or burn it as a symbol of release. Maybe we meditate, pray, or simply sit quietly and tell ourselves it's time to move on. The actions can be simple. What matters is the shift in our heart when it happens. That moment when you tell yourself, "It's okay, I'm done carrying this now," can be one of the most powerful moments in your life. It's like telling yourself that you deserve peace, that you deserve to be free from what has hurt you. Think back to that image of the traveler reaching the mountaintop, tears in his eyes as he watched the sunrise. We all deserve to feel that lightness, that triumph, to stand at the peak of our own life, unchained from the past, open to whatever the future sunrise may bring. You deserve that feeling. You deserve to be free of what weighs you down. When you let go, you don't erase your past. You simply write a new chapter. The pages before remain, but they don't dictate your next lines. By letting go, you reclaim the pen to write your story forward. You say, "Yes, that happened. Yes, it shaped me, and now I choose to shape myself further, beyond it." You step out of the shadow of what was and into the light of what could be. And there is so much light ahead. The space that opens up inside you when you release pain and fear is not an empty void. It's a fertile field ready to grow new dreams, new joys. It's the room in your soul for genuine happiness to take root. When one carries too much pain, even happiness that comes can't find a place to settle. It's crowded out by the clutter of what hasn't been released. But when you begin clearing that space, when you begin dropping the baggage, you'll be amazed at how much more clearly you can see the good that was already around you, and how much new good can now enter. The power of letting go is in the transformation that follows. It's like the season of autumn, when trees release their leaves. To some, it might look like a loss as the leaves flutter away. But we know that this is necessary for the tree to rest and regrow. We know that come spring, there will be new leaves, fresh and green. The tree isn't dying when it lets go of its leaves. It's preparing for new life. In the same way, when you let go of old pain, old anger, or old sadness, you are not losing yourself. You are shedding the parts that have finished their purpose. You are clearing the way for new growth, new life within you. So ask yourself, what can you let go of today? Even if it's just one thing, one small thing that has been weighing on your mind. Can you set it down even for a moment and feel what it's like to not carry that burden? Try it gently. You might find that once you put it down, you wonder why you carried it for so long in the first place. And maybe you'll decide not to pick it back up. Life is too short and too precious to walk through it with chains on our souls. Every day is a gift, a chance to start anew. But we can only grasp it if our hands are free. When you open your heart by letting go of what doesn't serve you anymore, you make room for so much more. For love, for laughter, for unexpected opportunities, for peace that comes in the quiet moments. It takes courage to let go, no doubt about that. It's one of the bravest things a person can do, to say, "This hurt me, this mattered, but I will not let it imprison me any longer." Often, courage isn't loud or dramatic. Sometimes it's that quiet voice at day's end saying, "I will try again tomorrow." Or the silent decision in your heart to finally release what has been hurting you. And remember, the pain you have already endured shows how strong you truly are. You have carried these burdens through your darkest days, and still you are here. Imagine how much further you can go, how much higher you can rise when you set that weight down. In the end, letting go is an act of love. Love for yourself. It's deciding that you deserve to be at peace. It's respecting yourself enough to stop looking backward with regret or sideways with envy, and instead look forward with hope. It's forgiving yourself and others not because they always deserve it, but because you deserve the peace that forgiveness brings. It's accepting that there are things you cannot change and finding empowerment in that acceptance rather than despair. The power of letting go is waiting for you. It's in your hands right now, at this very moment. You can feel its truth in your breath as you exhale, in the way your shoulders can relax when you say, "No more, I'm letting this go." This power has always been within you, like a seed waiting for the right conditions to grow. And when you use it, it will transform not just one day or one moment, but the entire way you live and love. Picture yourself a little while from now, walking lighter on the path of your life. Maybe you smile more easily. Maybe you sleep better at night. The things that used to trigger anger or fear in you now pass by like clouds, noticed but not held on to. You find yourself living in the present because you finally released what was holding you in the past and what was freezing you in worry about the future. That is the gift you give yourself by letting go. So, take a deep breath. Feel the air fill your lungs and then let it out slowly. Let that be a small act of letting go of tension, of yesterday, of the last hour's worries. You are here now, alive and capable of moving forward. Whatever you've been holding on to, it does not have to hold you. You have the power to set it down, step away, and embrace the open, wide possibilities that await. Remember, the dawn of each new day belongs to those who are willing to release the darkness of yesterday. The view from the mountaintop belongs to those who lay down their baggage. Freedom belongs to those who let go. Letting go is not a one-time act, but a way of living. A gentle, continuous choice to free yourself and trust that life has goodness in store for you. And as you let go, you'll discover something beautiful. You haven't fallen. You haven't failed. You have soared. The weight that held you down is gone, and there you are, rising into your own life, open-hearted and light. That is the power of letting go. It's the power that gives you back to yourself. It's the quiet miracle of finding peace and the bold adventure of embracing change. It is within your reach, now and always. So when you're ready, take a deep breath, open your hands, and allow yourself to let go.